It feels like saying thank you to you guys is not enough for what you do, because our small group ministry is just the lifeblood of who we are as a church. I was with a pastor yesterday, who's he's out of town. He's not in town here, and he wanted to come and wanted to talk about our ministry. And so we were just going over some things, and I was asking him about small groups at his church and what he did. What he did, and he said we don't do small groups. He said, and I asked him why they didn't do any small group ministry, and he said it's pretty simple. He said because I'm the pastor, and I really don't want to kind of give that authority away to other folks. And it was the strangest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so we kind of talked about that just a little bit. And he said, "What do you think about that?" I said, "I think the total opposite of that. I mean, I couldn't disagree with you any more." And really, as a small group leader, do you know what you're doing? You're pastoring a group of people. That's what you're doing. And I think there's nothing any greater that you can give your life to. And in the last 25 years of ministry, it's the hardest thing, to be honest. It's the hardest thing that we've done. It's the hardest thing in our time here at New Vision that we've done is get folks in groups. And I know you guys realize that. There's so many pulls and there's so many challenges and so many difficult things. But it's something that we're going to stay after with everything we are because it's so important. I lead a group just like you, not because I have to, because I want to, and it's an important thing for me in my life. Some of the, there are two guys in the last year who've come to faith in Christ, and when you're inside a group, and sometimes there's some nights where it's awkward, isn't it? You lead a group, you ever have those nights where it's kind of awkward and people aren't talking, and it can be tough. And so one of our guys, we're going through, he never says anything. He never talks. And the other night he just spoke up about a verse we were looking at, and he said he'd been studying the Gospel of John, and this kind of really reminded him of something else. And it was so amazing to see our guys just get excited and fired up about that. And that's spiritual growth. That's transformation. And we believe transformation happens in circles, not in rows. And that is so true. And what you guys are doing is impacting lives in a profound, profound way. And it's not easy. I understand that. But at the end of the day, I guess all of you here are like me. What I want more than anything else is I want to stand before the Lord and hear Him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." How about you? I mean, I think for all of us, I think that's the game. That's what we want more than anything. And so I don't think there's anything better you could do with your time, your talents, and your resources than be a small group leader. I really don't, because you're pastoring a small church is really what you're doing. And you're involved in people's life at a very deep level and a chance to really bring about change. There's no question about that. So I just want to say I am so thankful for what you're doing. God's using you in a powerful way. We're trying to learn. We've been doing this for a long time, but we have so much to learn because church is changing. It's difficult. People's schedules are difficult. And so we want to learn from you guys. And so I hope you realize that we're all in this thing together, just wanting to get better and learn how we can reach people in different ways. One of the things that people are critical of about us as it relates to small groups is they say, your strategy is too complex. And so people say, if you just have one strategy for groups, in other words, you just say, we just do all off-campus groups, that would be cleaner and clearer for folks and people could understand that. But here's why we understand this. We don't want to make it as easy maybe for us and as streamlined for us. That would be easier if we just said we just have one thing. That's just what we do. Deal with it. But we want to have folks, every space we have on Sunday morning, we want to use it. Every space we have on Wednesday night, we want to use it. We just want to have as many multiple offerings as we can and just to throw a big net to try to reach as many people as we can and get them connected in a circle. So that's a really, really important thing. As you think about leading a group, one of the things that's difficult is when a group is really going well, people they're growing in their relationship with each other. There's no question about that. They're enjoying that. That's exactly what should happen. The hardest thing is to realize that there's probably somebody in your group right now that this time next year could be leading a group of folks, and to be a leader of leaders, to really call that out in them, to say to them, and it's a powerful thing to say to someone, to say to Cloud, I see God's grace in your life, and I see you have leadership potential. I want to go on a journey with you. I think God could use you to lead a group of people. We just have to have that happen here, and you guys have really, hopefully, can be on the front lines of that. Now that's hard because, I mean, that's your church, right? That's the people that you love, and you want to spend time. You don't want to lose them. But when you think about it, what you're really gaining is you have a chance to gain spiritual grandchildren. And that's a cool thing. I think you guys know I got a grandbaby coming in just a couple months. I can't get enough of that. That's exciting stuff. But as I think about inside the groups, seeing people grow inside your group to the point that they could be leading other people to grow to spiritual maturity. And then, man, what a legacy. What a legacy that you guys could leave. So thank you for what you do. You're making a difference. I know it's not easy. I know it's difficult. It's a challenge. I understand that. But God is using you to make a difference in people's lives, and we are so thankful. And tonight is just about that. Tonight is just us saying thank you for what you've done. We could not do what we do without you guys. Right before I came over, I just tried to squeeze in a few phone calls just to folks who are in the hospital. I tell people, inside the first 15 seconds as I'm on a phone call with somebody who's just had surgery, just lost a loved one, just had a baby, inside the first 15 seconds, I can tell you whether or not they're in a group. You know why? Because they tell me. They talk about, when you ask them, is there anything we can do? Immediately, they just begin to talk about how their group is taking care of them, meeting their needs, and it's such an encouraging thing. So it's making a difference on so many levels in people's lives. So thank you for what you do. God bless you.
So tonight is an exciting night because we're going to get to talk a little bit about the future, about vision. And it's something that I'm really passionate about, is knowing where we're going and having a clear direction and having a path and a purpose in how we walk and how we maneuver. And so as an adult ministry team, this is something that we spend significant amount of time talking about and planning, is how can we engage folks in small groups? How can we encourage you as leaders? How can we equip you as leaders? And Joseph has come on staff, I guess it's been about 2 years now. And one thing that I have really appreciated about his leadership is that he has leadership. He knows where we're going, and he knows how to communicate it. So tonight you're going to get to hear a little bit of what we have been working on as an adult team for about the past 12 months. So will you join me in welcoming Joseph Brasher?
Just wanted to stop and just kind of share a little bit about our vision, share a little bit about what we are planning and where we're looking to go with our groups, because this is why this is so critical to bring you here tonight. Yes, we want to say time and time again, thank you. Thank you so much, and just for your time, for coming here tonight. Thank you, Brady, for just sharing that with our leaders here. And I think it's always important for us to hear from our pastor of just how passionate he is about groups. Because I'm telling you guys, that's rare in churches. To know that you have a pastor that is so passionate about groups. He wants to be here. He wants to speak to our group leaders as much as possible, and it makes all the difference in the world. So to know that we have a champion of small groups right here with Pastor Brady. So thank you, Pastor Brady, for all that you do with that. I want to tell you, just so often we overlook the most simplest of things that could be sometimes right in front of our eyes. And one of those simple things that I think sometimes that we miss, and I'm experiencing it right now, and you are too, is the value of light. I want you to just kind of stop and just think about that with me for a second. The value of light. Light has some very simple purposes. Light can guide us whenever we're going along a way. Light also, the light of a fire can give you warmth as you're sitting by it. Light as well, it can, if you're in the most darkest of places, light gives you hope as well. Y'all, I don't know if y'all realize there's 30 people a day that are moving to Murfreesboro. And you just kind of think about that, the growth that's happened here in this area. And God has also, He's blessed our church because we've been able to grow as well. We've been able to see as people have been coming in, they've been coming in, and we're just so excited about just, you think about it, Easter, we had 3 overflow services that happened at our main campus. What a powerful testimony that is, that people are talking about it. But guys, here's one of the things that we have to be careful of. Sometimes people can come in the front door and they can go just as quick out the back door. The thing that stops that time and time and time again and keeps people connected to where they're growing and they're multiplying is whenever we have healthy groups. And guys, that is the key for us. That is a thing that we have to keep in front of us, is having healthy groups. Because healthy groups consistently show people how to take the next step. And that's a part of what you're doing in your groups, is you're helping people to take the next step. Now, let's go for a moment on a journey together, okay? Real brief, all right? We're going to go on this journey. We're going to walk through the woods together in the dark, okay? And so I'm going along. I'm going to be in the front. I've got my flashlight going. And so we're going along in our journey. Here we go. You know, we're all taking off, all that good stuff. And then we come along to this group of people, and I'm not really going to know why that they're just sitting out in the dark, but they are, okay? But they're sitting out here in the dark. They've been wandering around. They're lost, and they're seeking of which way to go. Now, it would be really bad of us just to come along and say, hey, we hope that you find something soon. We hope that somebody comes along and takes care of you. We just hope that you have a great day. See you later, bye. That would be like really bad, right? I hope we all agree that'd be really bad. If we were to do that, come along to some people that are sitting there in the dark. No, what are we going to do? I'm going to look at my group and I'm going to say, hey guys, here's this group of people that are right here. They need guiding along just like what you have experienced. Stop and think about that. They need to get out of the dark and take the next step, just like what I did in leading you. They need help in taking that next step. And you're going to have some people that are going to say, well, Joseph, who is going to go? I mean, who's going to be the one that's going to go with these people and help them to take that next step? There's going to be some people that are going to say, well, you know what, Joseph, I don't have enough training. I don't think I've got enough training in order to lead these people to go to the next step. Joseph, I just don't know if I've got the right things in place in my life in the right time in order to do that. In fact, I don't even know if I have the right tools in order to lead that group to take the next step. And what I would do is I would look at you and I'd say, you know what? Look in your hands. And everybody would look at their hands. You know what you would see? A flashlight. There'd be a flashlight there. All of a sudden, this voice speaks out and says, you know what, Joseph? Hey, I can do it. I can do it. I know which way to go. I've got a flashlight in my hand. I can help guide the group to the next step. And we celebrate together. We celebrate together because both groups were able to keep on walking and keep on moving forward to the next step. Now, I hope you agree with me. We don't want anybody left around searching, lost, wondering, right? We don't want anybody to be in that place. You may have been in that place before, and you probably stop and you think about, man, it really meant a lot whenever somebody came along and helped me in my life. You stop and you think about how people came along and surrounded you. Whenever you stepped into a group, in your own experience, the impact that it made, it was just like somebody finding you in your lost place, and they were helping you to grow and to go. You know, Jesus said, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine for all to see. You see, the Holy Spirit, when He comes into our life, whenever we're saved at that moment of salvation, He calls us and He equips us, and He calls us to do this one thing: be a light. Be a light. You say, what does that mean? Be a light is our mission, guys. Guide people to lives of gospel transformation. Now, this is critical because if we're going to have healthy groups, that means that we have to have people that are being a light wherever they are. It can't be just at church. It means that we've got to be a light wherever God has placed us. And that means that there's going to come some times whenever we look down at our hands and we say, you know what? It's time for me to step to the front. It's time for me to be the one that steps up and starts to lead the group. Guys, that's what I want to ask you to do. I want to ask you to join with us in this journey. This is where we're going, as we're going to strive to be a light for Christ. Now, I know you're probably sitting there just wondering, what does that look like? Well, if you look on your table, you have a card that's right there in front of you. And I want, if you would, please at this time, grab that card. Because I want to walk through of what that looks like for us to be a light. Because I believe it comes down to three simple things. It first and foremost starts with us being somebody of prayer. We've got to pray. Guys, I just want to tell y'all, as an adult team staff, as a church staff, guys, we have been praying for this night. We've been praying for people to catch this vision, to see where God is leading us, and to embrace what it is to be a light. For you as a current leader, you're right now, you're tasked with praying for those people that are in your group already. Praying for those people that God has placed in your circle, that you can start to lead and help to show them how to be a light. And then there's some of you that are here tonight that you got invited by somebody. They're looking at you and they're saying, hey, you're a potential person. And so God's right now just put on your heart maybe just to pray and just say, you know what? I need to pray about, it's my time to step up. It's my time to get my flashlight and to go and be a light. So we want you to see, first of all, we need you to pray. Join with us in praying. In fact, if you want to join with us, one of the things that you can do is at 3 o'clock every day, we stop and we pray as an adult team for our groups. So you can get out your phone, you can put in one of those reminders, and that's why I have it set every single day, 3 o'clock, that I'm praying for you as groups. Guys, I'm telling you, it's going to make an impact whenever we first and foremost stop and pray. Here's the second thing, though. If we're going to be a light, if we're going to really make an impact here in Murfreesboro even more, we've got to prepare. We've got to prepare. Now, understand, I'm not saying that you got to go out here and go through seminary in order to lead a group. That's not what we're saying, okay? What we are saying is that we want you to prepare your heart. We want you to understand that God has called you. He's equipped you to do what you've called to do, and He wants you to embrace that, and He wants you to say, you know what? I can prepare my life. I can make my schedule at a place of where I'm ready to do this. I can look at my priorities that are going on. I can say, I'm prepared. I'm ready to do this. And so on your card, you might just say, you know what? I'm ready to be prepared in that. We want to help you take that step. Current group leaders, here's what this means for you. You may have some people in your group that they need to be prepared in being in front of the group. They need to be the ones leading the discussion. They need to be the ones asking the questions. Once again, we're not talking about theological masters or anything like that. We're saying people that are prepared to take the next step. Help them do that. For you that are here that are potential, that we want to just walk with you. We want to give you some tools to help you take that next step. We are ready to walk with you in that. And guys, here's the last thing right there on your card. Launch. Launch. I know that y'all are thinking a Baptist pastor is going to make it a P, right? But anyway, I want you to see it's launch. We've got to go. There's going to come a time when we say it's time for us to move. It's time for that person to step to the front and say, I'm going to use my flashlight to lead this group. I'm going to lead my flashlight to guide these people to take the next step. And guys, if we're missing it, we're going to miss so many people if we never stop and we never launch. It's time for us. It's time to embrace that. I hope you hear the urgency of this moment. Right here, right now, God's called us and brought us together here in this place for us to think about how we can pray, how we can prepare, and then how we can launch. Because guys, I'm telling you, we still haven't seen yet, I believe, what God's going to do through our groups. It's going to come. But guys, we can't leave people along on the side. We've got to step up. We've got to go. We've got to lead people to grow in that way.